This is the stereo I have, so I need to pull this out, see how it's wired. It should be satellite ready. It's the same radio that's in Beulah. Hey everyone, welcome to Tigner Adventures. I've got my work shirt on and pants, and it's time to do some more work. My name's David, and just to refresh, if you haven't seen our videos before, we got a new diesel pusher. It's a 1994 Holiday Rambler. Really nice diesel pusher, but there's a few things that we have to do to it before we can move in. Now, right behind me is this little arrangement here. Used to have like a VCR and who knows what else was up in there, but all of that's been pretty much removed. And so I'm going to put my internet router there, and I've got to get my Sirius XM antenna up onto the roof. And yeah, we have flies here too. So anyway, so today I'm going to start working on this whole thing, and this fly is going to die at some point because he's bugging me. But anyway, we're going to put some things through the ceiling here, and I just want to get up behind this, pull this all out of here, and get up into the ceiling above here so I can put an antenna for the Sirius XM on the roof. I need to run my ham radio wires out the roof to put an antenna up there also. And so that's what we're going to be kind of messing around with this a little bit today. All right, to start out with, this is just a big box. So interesting setup here, but it's got 4 screws, I think, that holds it in here. It has these little wood round things. Oh yeah, if you just take a razor blade, all it is just a little false thing that snaps in there, and usually they glue them in, but this time they just pop out. So if you can just squeeze them in there without gluing them in, that's better, so that you can get to it later. So it's nice they did that. So let's see if what we're going to run into just undoing these 4 screws. I found a little lighthouse. Whoa. And basically up here I've got auxiliary heater, TV boost antenna, step cover, and keyless entry, meaning I can push this up and down to lock the bays or lock the front door. So I need to disconnect that. Wow, okay. There's some little catches on here, and you just kind of squeeze that and it just came right off, so that's good. And so I'm meant to mount that rail here. This is supposed to fold forward. There's no way to take it out of there. I'm gonna have to decipher this a little bit. Like, who uses TV antennas anymore? We stream everything these days. We don't really do much with TV at all. A lot of wires, and I don't know how it works out, but wires seem to multiply and have a party while you're gone and get all crisscrossed in there so you can't get anything to come out. So this is what I'm looking at. So I have this little, some kind of amplifier, power speaker, another little Sony. They're both Sonys. So something over here, and all that up into here. What a big mess. So looks like most everything comes up here. So while searching these out, the whole thing is we got to put a backup camera in here, we got to put internet in here, we got to put Sirius XM in here. Well, I was trying to sort out some of this wire mess. Man, what a mess. I'm just trying to, lay it out so I can at least see where the wires are coming from. Well, I'm digging around in here, and oh, I think I found a mouse nest. And what is this? Oh, yeah, I think that guy's seen better days. Wow. You don't want to go digging if you don't want to be finding anything. but it's better to get it out of there. All right, so I need to get this connection going through the roof about right here. So what I've done is I've pulled this plastic back and kind of dug the insulation out. I went and bought me a magnet, and I'm gonna figure out where that is up there on the roof. So I've taken that magnet and I've placed it up against the fiberglass on the top up here, and I've kind of propped this up here, so it's holding that magnet up there. So we're gonna go outside and see if I can figure out where that is on the ceiling outside. So about right here is the best place to put my Sirius XM antenna. So I want to figure out where, if I drill a hole right here, you know, if I'm okay. And so I'm just moving this little piece of metal around to try to find out where I have the magnet inside. So you can see it's right here. That's where the magnet is. So I'm about that far over from where the magnet is and where I want to drill the hole. And so if I look up in here, there is nothing really over this way. There was a line right there. I think there's an air line or something right there. So I gotta pull that off the ceiling, make sure I don't drill through that. But I think I'm good at putting the connection right there. It'll just be right above here. All right, I have the antenna on the top. It's through the roof. I've cut a little piece of sheet metal here just to put under there to kind of support it, give it a little bit more stability. And then I've got the washers and nuts that I need to screw that down nice and tight. And then we'll put some sealant around it and hook up the cable on the inside and run that down to the radio. That is looking really nice there. So I need to just put a little bit of silicone around it to just seal it as a finishing touch when I get the rest of the wiring done that needs to be done up here on the roof. Well, this is the wire from that antenna. So this is Sirius XM. That's going to have to go down the side rail over here. So I'm going to set that to the side right now because I need to get the other wires too. So I have two different wires I've got to put in here. And this is my internet right here. So it is Insty Connect is the name of the company that I got this from. And this currently has T-Mobile, Verizon, let's see, yeah. Oh no, the other one in my other rig, I have two of these. So one has T-Mobile and Verizon. This one has just AT&T right now. And this particular one works with this router right here. That'll sit up on this top shelf when I put it back in. And this particular one can use the power over Ethernet that the other router is using, or it can just use the a USB from here to the antenna. So I've put this one over here. I'm gonna run a USB wire and a Cat, it's actually Cat 8 internet wire for my PoE to the switch, so I can switch out these different antennas depending on which one I want to use. So in this case, I'm using the power over Ethernet over at the other rig right now, but eventually I'll put that over here and I'll bring that router, which is an upgraded router, to this one over here, and we'll start using it over here all the time. There's a lot more features on that new one than this one, but this works as far as having internet in both places. So the two ends that get connected to one of these antennas from Insty Connect is, or I guess it's Insty Connect, but anyway, it can either be this USB-C connector, or in this case, this one uses USB, or this one here, which is the power over an Ethernet. And I've just got a little cap on there because I'm not going to use it right now, but I need to get it put through the roof and where it's going to go so that we can get the antenna mounted. And then at that point, the antenna is just on a little post. So here is the post. So this will screw down to the top of the roof, and then these different antennas, they just slide on and off. Here there's some little wings here that hold it straight, but that's how it connects. And then a little zip tie around there, and it holds it really good going down the road at whatever speed I'm going. So it works out good. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw that onto the roof, but I want to get these wires through this hole so I can pull them up also where they're gonna go, and then at that point we'll be ready to mount the internet. So, and I am waiting for one more wire, which is for my HF radio, ham radio. And when that cable comes, then I will put that one up through here also. And then all three of these wires will come out on the roof. All right, so that is up in there just fine. So, all right, let's go outside and take a look. All right, we got this much of it done. We put the little cover on there. Our wires are coming out there just fine. Put silicone there. I'm gonna go ahead and silicone around the sides of it and also around this little XM satellite antenna. Okay, this up here is done except for painting that antenna cover. So I'll go ahead and paint that to cover the cables with the silicone paint. But as far as the XM antenna, it is permanent and done. So that'll just dry and we are good. Well, with the top all screwed on and painted, looks really nice outside. Now we need to just take care of the inside. Now it came with screws and they were like this long, and all we're doing is going through some fiberglass. So I didn't want to have that long of screws that are just poking down to poke into anything, because I do have wires and things that are running up there. So I've come up with, this was in one of the packaging things that I received. So I've just cut a square off and I've just cut a hole through there, and I'm going to just run the wires through this and then stick this up and poke all those little screws into this, and we'll just kind of tack it up there with a little bit of silicone just to kind of hold it in place. But then we'll put all the insulation back, and that'll help protect those sharp things from rubbing on any wires or air hoses. That's the biggest thing I'm concerned about. I don't need a air hose leaking, so which goes up to the air horns. So I've been cleaning up those wires. I've got those other wires ran down from the roof, and some of those, like the backup camera and some others, I'm running them all at one time here. So kind of doing a bunch of jobs at the same time here. But this portion of it requires, from the roof down, requires us to go through this column right here down to underneath the dash. So we need to pull this off and see what it looks like, see what's in there, see how much room we've got, see if we can get our wires through there. So got the flathead screwdriver. There's little covers over this where the screws are. So I'm just going to kind of put the flathead in there. But see, that one just popped off. So all it is a piece of rubber around there that goes around that snap. So we'll continue to do that up here too. And now we just need to undo those 3 screws and take that off there. This is just a regular Phillips screwdriver bit. So the bottom and top are really long. There, that just falls off. So that makes life easy. I'm just going to put that screw back in there so I don't lose it, and I don't have to worry about which one goes where when I go to put it back in there. I've got my stereo wires here. It looks like I've got my it's not a, yeah, it's a CV antenna wire, but it's the same one that ham radio uses. So I'm going to use that one for my ham radio, for my 2 meter, for those of you that are familiar with ham radio. Haven't figured out where I'm going to put all my ham stuff yet. On the other one, the dash was pretty flat, and it was easy just to set it all right up by, so I could sit at the steering wheel and do ham stuff. But this rig is a little different, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that yet. But I'm going to run a cable from the roof down because I want to seal that up there. So that looks good. There's lots of room there. So I'm going to run our other lines down. All the wires are ran for the stereo, the backup system, the internet. Everything is done. And I've tied all these back here. I want to keep it away from this metal clamp. On the bottom of this shelf here is a round rod that slides back and forth between here. I put this foam down here to take up the space between, there and the top, so it's not as wiggly, and that way when we're going over bumps and stuff, it won't sound like the ceiling is falling down right there, because it just kind of bounced around in that little tray. So this will work really nice, and it's all ready to start putting it all back together. Before we put this on, we need to cut this out right here. I think I'll use my escalator saw and just cut this out. They're screwed in there. Just putting our little plugs back in here. That looks nice. This is the amps for the stereo, so they need to stay there, and we need airflow, so don't want to put nothing there, but that'll work. And that is all complete. We've got our internet in there, the stereo's in the bottom. Those are kind of big openings, but all those devices get pretty warm, so we want some good airflow there. Now that all that is done up there, and all the wires are run down through here, it's time to put this all back together again. Put this one piece back in the base here, and I actually had to pull everything out along that whole column so I could get the wiring to go easier. They had it zip tied all over the place so they definitely didn't want you pushing other wires through there, but anyway, I cleaned that all up, and now I'm working on this. This is the piece that's going to go up the side there. I've got to put on the little top there. But I just wanted to show here, I sprayed this with glue because this is what goes against the window. So you really don't see it from this side, but I don't want, that hanging out there. So I'm gluing it back on here with contact cement. So all of this is just some vinyl stuff. So anyway, it should work out pretty good. So I'm going to put this back in there. I've got the screws up there that go in here so I could keep track of these. The thing I didn't like about this screw, I think this is something they put in after the fact, but they had it screwed right into the rubber liner of the windshield. I don't think that's a good idea. Of course I have to do this in the hot sun of the day. We're in Arizona. Anytime that sun's shining on you, it's hot. Even in the winter. Okay, that's all done now. Remember, we have these little cover things, so these will pop back on here. That is done. Now we need to really concentrate on the next jobs. But as far as the stereo system, that is all done and in. And I think we just need to work on the backup cameras and stuff. So there's so many things going on at once, I'm not sure what parts will make it into which video. So anyway, thanks for coming along on this. This is kind of a lot of different miscellaneous little things going on at once, but there's not any one thing that you probably want to spend hours watching this. So we're just kind of throw all of them in there and just give you an idea kind of what we've done, and that's kind of the plan there. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you on our next video, so you guys take care.